Howdy, y'all. How you doing this fine evening? I'll be honest, I'm a little exhausted. Okay, I wanted to post to keep up the consistency, but this one's probably going to be on the shorter end. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. I have been diving into the ACOTAR series. Okay, here's a little bit of background. My jaunts into fantasy, and by jaunts I mean like just most of what I read is either fantasy or sci-fi. Just speculative fiction as a whole is like the bulk majority of what I read. Um, and I really love Brandon Sanderson. I know that that's not a very hot take. That's a very safe thing to say, but it's true. I think a lot of people like him because it's, genuinely quality work. And I think that the Stormlight Archive is like the best series ever by him or anyone. Those are my favorite books. Plenty of books I haven't read yet, so it's like like just in general in life. So I'm sure that opinion could change as life goes on. I've read a bunch of books, not all of them, all of the books that everyone else has read, right? And I have read romantasy before. I work for a bookstore, and what happens sometimes is that you'll get like an advanced copy of a book before it comes out, so that you have some knowledge of it before it hits shelves, so that when a customer is shopping in that area, you can at least plug the book, talk it up, say something good about it, or just have like any kind of opinion really at all. And that book, have it around here somewhere. It was the book Ship of Spells. I forget the author's fucking name, which is sad because I would rather remember it. Must be on my other shelf somewhere. Yeah, okay, it's somewhere. I don't feel like digging it up, but it's called Ship of Spells. You can look it up. It's sort of like it's like a naval romantasy. So there's ships, there's magic, there's sea battles, there's elves, there's like weird satyr-like creatures, there's humans, obviously, witchcraft, and other such things. And I read that book, and I thought it was like I personally didn't care for it. I don't like to just say things are good or bad, because that's a very subjective thing, and what I might like be the complete antithesis of what you think a good book is. But it wasn't for me. We'll put it that way. Dick veins were described, so if you if you're into that, there's some mention of dick veins. Dick veins mentioned, which I don't have a problem with smut. I don't give a fuck. I read the Song of Ice and Fire books, and there's plenty of like more spicy imagery in there. If not flat out smut, at least there's like more spicy imagery. That shit doesn't bother me. I don't give a fuck. And I don't agree with the criticism of spicy fantasy, like romantasy, being like not good inherently. I think anything can be good if you do it well, right? And it's like, I watch anime. A lot of people can criticize anime of just being like scantily clad women and like way too jacked dudes. It's like, hey, well, I like anime, and a lot of them have really good stories regardless of the amount of skin being shown. And I'm sure that's true of romantasy, so I'm not here to dog on that. I think that's a weak complaint. You cannot like it for that reason, but to say it's bad for that reason, it's like, nah, no, I'm not here for that. But I just wanted to say dick veins, okay? That's the only reason I even brought that up. I just wanted to say it. But no, didn't care for the book much. I have my reasons for it, but it was my first ever romantasy, and it came out like either early this year or later last year. Yeah, I think it was like a 2025 release. Super recent. So I didn't have enough data to know if I even liked romantasy or not. It's one book. That's not enough, The saying two is a coincidence, three is a pattern. I was like, I need more under my belt. And I was like, as a Sander bro, let's delve more into this world. My wife put me on ACOTAR, and I've been reading that. I'm currently on this one right here. A Court of Mist and Fury. This is book 2. I'm not that far into it, as you can see. I read when I can. I get vaguely like 40 minutes a day over the course of a typical workday. Much longer on the weekend if I have the time. But I actually kind of liked it. Like, here's how I liked it though. When I read the Stormlight Archive, I like it because it's this grand epic with some of the most engaging and relatable characters I've ever seen. And even the ones I don't relate to, they're still compelling in just the quality of the storytelling, right? And it's one of those things that just leaves me emotionally exhausted afterwards. These books are all like 1,000 pages or more. So by the end of it, you've read like 7,000 pages worth of shit, and it's all really good. But like, yeah, it's exhausting. It's one of those things you need a cleanser. Like if you watch something like Vinland Saga, that's so emotionally exhausting. You got to go watch Kaguya-sama: Love is War after that. For all my anime watchers out there, you know what I mean? A palate cleanser. You need to go watch something like that to like wash all the sadness and the pain out of your mouth. And because it's very heavy, but I appreciate that about the Stormlight Archive, right? I appreciate that it's heavy. And it's my favorite series of all time, but ACOTAR serves well as a palate cleanser. Like, yeah, you could argue. I've read A Court of Thorns and Roses, the very first book. I've completed that one. I have that much knowledge under my belt and about 60 pages worth of A Court of Mist and Fury under my belt. So my knowledge on the grand scheme of ACOTAR is very limited, obviously, but at least so far as the first installment goes, it ain't that heavy. It ain't that deep. And I can see that in book 2, they're going into the PTSD of what happened in book 1, right? And maybe it'll get deeper, but like just on every sort of level, it's extracting less from me than the Stormlight Archive did. And I'm not saying that as like an objective negative. The same way that I don't think Kaguya-sama: Love is War is less than Vinland Saga just because it's more palatable. That doesn't mean it's lesser. You can like anything for any reason. And I love Kaguya-sama: Love is War. That anime was fucking peak. But I'm just reading ACOTAR, and I find that I'm not getting as thrashed around emotionally as I would while reading something like the Stormlight Archive. But I'm enjoying myself. That's the thing. I'm enjoying myself the way that if Stormlight Archive is a steak from like a top of the line fancy restaurant, ACOTAR is either like an affordable steak at a lower tier restaurant, if we would just want like the most direct comparison possible, or even like just really fucking good ground beef. Don't sleep on ground beef. That's not an insult. Ground beef is essential. It's a staple of like a lot of good meals. Very anabolically sound. So it's like, I value it for what it is. I wasn't reeling after ACOTAR, but after I read that, I get the criticisms, I get the criticisms towards the book, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, I had a good time. I don't feel like I needed a high barrier of engagement to really like interact with the text. It was very casual. It's very casual, especially because it's told in first person and it's from like a singular POV. It's so narrowed down compared to something like the Stormlight Archive. And the main character, I get it. I've heard the complaints that she can be very annoying, and I think I see why people think that. Maybe I'm just the most patient person fucking ever, but that she didn't annoy me. Maybe that's a hot take. Feyre did not annoy me, but especially because I've been 19 and she starts the book at 19. I'm 29. I have a decade on Feyre, given that book came out in 2015 and I literally was 19. Yeah, I was. So technically, if we're going based off release date 2015, I am as old as Feyre. So if that book kept going, that book is 10 years, 11 years older now, or whatever. Like me and Feyre would both be 29 right now. So I'm technically I'm kind of locked into this character. It's like I've been 19 before. I was a fucking idiot, and I was more impulsive, and I did and said dumb shit. So it's like I sympathize with Feyre. I've been 19. How sound was y'all's judgment at 19? I don't know. Maybe y'all are just way better than I am, but like, I didn't get pissed off by Feyre because she was just a 19-year-old motherfucker doing shit that 19-year-old motherfuckers do sometimes. How well would you reasonably do if you were in a foreign land where you were the least powerful person ever and you're just getting fucking frame-mogged by beautiful ass ethereal beings everywhere you went who could just kill you by diddling your mind with their talons or like turning into a fucking like werewolf / X-Men Wolverine hybrid thing and just like clawing your guts out. Which, by the way, am I tripping or like I imagined Tamlin's claws like this? You know, like he would just go like that, like he'd become like more wolf-like. But the way it's described in the book is like it comes out between his knuckles like Wolverine. That's not what I imagined. I was imagining a fucking like Sabretooth. You know, the like Wolverine's brother. I was imagining Sabretooth, but I think Sarah J. Maas was imagining Wolverine. Fine either way. Doesn't fucking matter. It's just a thought I had. Also, Rhysand. I think he's cool, kind of. You know, I think he's cool. Obviously, he's problematic, but I think he's cool. But, like, I thought it was Rhysand the whole time. And then my wife was like, yeah, it's Rhysand. I'm like, what? Rhysand sounds fucking legitimate. That sounds like you are an emperor. You know, that sounds heroic, strong. Rhysand just, you know, it sounds made up, which I guess it is. So, mission accomplished. But it's like, it could have been Rhysand. Fuck, that's a way cooler name. But whatever. I liked ACOTAR. And, you know, like I said, I'm like 60 pages into A Court of Mist and Fury, Akamath. And I'm probably going to enjoy this one because there's a level of like chill I have with it. Stormlight Archive is done. It can't hurt me anymore. As beautiful as that hurt was, it can't hurt me anymore. So ACOTAR is taking the wheel. It's taking me on a little journey. These are quick reads. Quick because I'm used to like the last book I read in the Stormlight Archive, Wind and Truth, was like over 1,300 pages. So this is quick to me. So that's nice. And I'm enjoying it for what it is. Maybe I'll update y'all later on my ACOTAR journey. And maybe when it's all over and I have a full scope of what all has happened. But for right now, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying my time. And maybe I'll pick up more romantasy in the future because it's big. It's a big thing. It's the biggest thing. You know, like I said, I work in a bookstore. So, I mean, not many things sell like romantasy sells. So it's like there's something to it, obviously. It wouldn't sell so much if there was nothing to it. Even if the only thing that it does is that it engages with you on a lizard brain level and excites like a sexual appetite or some kind of like sexual or romantic fantasy in you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, even if that is all it was. But that would also be to ignore just good storytelling. You know? Good storytelling can still be good storytelling if there's fucking and sucking in it. You know? So I look forward to reading more romantasy in the future, just adding it to my repertoire. Obviously, the big epic fantasies are my favorites, but hey, nothing wrong with romantasy, so we can see where this goes as I continue my journey. But until next time, peace out, y'all. I'm fucking tired.